Hi friends, welcome to another episode of this lecture series. I'm Farsana and this is a solutions for UGC NET English. Now I'm going to talk about new criticism. Actually, this is my first video in this theory series and the topic is new criticism. And I'm going to talk about what is this new criticism means and what are the reasons behind this new criticism and who are the proponents of this theory and of course who are the writers associated with this theory. Then what are the books associated with this theory and all these things. Anyway, coming to the point. This new criticism is a dominant theory in America during the mid-20th century. And we can say that this new criticism is a short form of structuralism. In another way, structuralism is the extension of new criticism. Okay. So, up to mid-20th century, these literary critics, they were focused on the ideas of 19th century German scholars. And during these literary studies, they give more importance to the external factors than the internal factors. And in new criticism, this theorist or this new critics give more importance to internal factors than the external factors. This is the difference. So, first of all, we have to understand what is this internal factors and external factors. So, this internal factors, it's the form of a work or the language used in that work, then rhythm of a work, rhyme of work, then its sound, characterization, plot, then ambiguity, metaphor, paradox and all these things. This is the internal factors. And what are the external factors? These external factors are the author's biography, author's class, gender, his sexual preference, his economic state and all this. And of course, this historical background of the age in which this book produced. And then these German scholars, they give more importance to the word, not by meaning. They also focused on meaning. Apart from this, they give more importance to the history of a word. That is how this word emerged. They give more importance to this also. So, when this new critics came, actually they never become a formal group. They have this idea and they followed the formalist ideas, but they never form a formal group. And the first thing we have to understand is the most important inspiration for this new criticism is the teachings of this John Crowe Ransom. He was the professor of Kenyon College and his teachings are the most inspiring thing that leads to the emerging of new criticism. And this John Crowe Ransom's students like Alan Tate, Clint Brook, Robert Penn Warren, they developed this aesthetic called new criticism. And there are so many other writers including this Clint Brook, then Robert Penn Warren, Alan Tate, John Crowe Ransom, then R.P. Blackmore, F.R. Lewis, Ayer Richard and so many other writers. So, then there is two more other important writers. They are William K. Wimsatt and Monroe Beardsley. They published Intentional Fallacy and through that book they strongly argued against the intended meaning or author's intention. They strongly argued against that. They says that there is no need to focus on any external factors, and this is that there is no need to bring any extraneous features like this author's biography or history to understand the meaning of a text. All they need is the words in the page, and they believed that the meaning of a text contained in itself. This is the idea or ideology of this new critics. And we have some other works like this Practical Criticism and the Principles of Literary Criticism. Both are written by Ayer Richard in 1929 and 1924. And these books are the influential works of this new criticism. And of course, this William Emerson's work, Seven Types of Ambiguity, which was written in 1930, and another work, that is the Clent Brooks Well Wrought Urn. These are the most important works, most important examples for this new criticism. And we have another writer who is F.R. Lewis, and he wrote this work like Evaluation, then this Great Tradition. And in Great Tradition, he gave more importance to the study of novels. And he says that there is 4 most important novelists in literature. They are Jane Austen, then Joseph Conrad, Henry James, and George Eliot. He says that these 4 writers are the greatest of novelists. And then I already told you about this Ayer Richard's work, and he has another work, Meanings of Meaning, and this is about this writers. And when we think about this new criticism, we can say that they give more importance to close reading. That is, they never focused on the external factors. They never give any relevance to the external factors such as this history of the author or historical background of this age. All those things. They say that all those things are irrelevant. And the only relevant thing is the words on this page or the words on this text. And Ayer Richard made an experiment to prove this, and he handed out some poems to his students to write an analysis for this. And when he gave these poems to them, he removed all the details about this writer and about this historical context and all those things. And the students wrote an analysis for this poem, and they gave different ideas from the same poem itself. And because of this, they believed that there is no need of any extraneous features, or there is no need of any external factors to give interpretation to a poem or to a passage. So they give, or they emerged the idea of an autonomous text, that is autolytic text, which means I already told you about this idea. And this autolytic text means this context of this author's, what it means, this context of this author's gender, class, his sexual preference, his economical status, all these are irrelevant, and the text itself has its own meaning. It is autolytic text. So this is all about this new criticism.